Rochester, make some fucking noise! Yes! I live in Atlanta now, but I grew up here. It is great to be back home, up in the Free States. No, I lived in Atlanta. I've been there for almost 7 years after spending my whole life in the Northeast. And I know what you're probably thinking, that I gave up legal autonomy over my own uterus just so that I never have to shovel snow again. And I gotta say, it was totally worth it. I would make that decision over and over again. Hi, shoveling snow is the worst, and I wasn't even using my uterus anyway. Like, you can put her under the jail for all I care, Katie fans. And while I've raised that topic, a big election for Taylor Swift fans, I guess. That's just what I'm calling white women who aren't me from now on. No, here's the thing, I'm more of an Olivia Rodrigo gal myself, and if you're too old to know who that is, imagine if Alanis Morissette was a member of the Mickey Mouse Club and more of us had it. But I love her. But there's the thing, I am Swift passing. So if someone makes the assumption, I just go with it. Like, I know better than to start trouble. That lady created a whole department just to torture poets. You can't tell me comics are next. And I do think this election finally proved to what a lot of us were thinking, is that white women, we're not okay. And I'm talking about all sides of the political spectrum here, because I don't know if you've seen this, but apparently liberal white women want those of us who voted for Kamala to start wearing like little blue beaded bracelets to signal to each other and to black women that we're a safe space. And wow, I gotta say, that sounds some white women fuckery. I'm sorry guys, only a white woman would think that the best way to signal to black people that she's a safe person is to put on a thin blue line. Be serious, ladies. So I've been in Atlanta for 7 years. It's really fantastic. But it's funny. I was riding around with my mother today, and she commented. She was complaining about the traffic here, and that was adorable to me. That was very cute. I don't know if any of you have been lucky enough to ever drive in Atlanta, but after 7 years of living in Atlanta, even places like LA, Austin, like I laugh in their faces when I hear them complain about their traffic. Like, yeah, I'll give it to them. Okay, yeah, LA, you have a lot of people on the road. You have a lot of cars to contend with, but your drivers just aren't serving up the sheer, unhinged, chaotic energy that Atlanta's drivers are serving to me on a daily basis. This is a city where the yellow light means go and the red light is merely a suggestion. I'm sorry, the last time I was in Austin, I didn't see one single person barbecuing in the back of a pickup truck going full speed down the highway. Like, if I'm not dodging bullets or swerving around a cow, am I even in traffic? No, seriously, if you're gonna, if traffic's a video game, Atlanta is absolutely the boss level. But here's what's funny. The first 3 years I lived in Atlanta, I actually didn't own a car at all, which honestly was playing that game stronger on very hard mode, just trying not to get splattered every day. But I gotta tell you, once I finally got a car, I learned that in Atlanta traffic, you either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Like when I first bought my car, I was so afraid of driving in Atlanta. I always drove the speed limit. I obeyed every single traffic law. I didn't go anywhere that required a single left-hand turn. Like truly just drove circles around the city. Now I got a few years under my belt. Like listen, I am flying down Interstate 85 going a minimum of 85. I'm gonna cut people off across 4 lanes of traffic to make my exits. Sorry, not sorry guys. I might hit a few pedestrians. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto now, so you've got to just keep up with me. Oh man, So I am, I can't believe it either, but I am single. Do you have any singles in the room? Do anything like that? Oh, more than I expected. All right. Are we on the dating apps, or have we given up on that? The dating apps are terrible. I don't know, for those of you who haven't experienced it, I don't know why. I don't know why it has to be so hard to find someone on these apps. I am literally just looking for what any woman wants, and that is a dual income household and love. And listen, I tried to make that happen for myself. I tried to get a second job, but you know, Kim Kardashian was right when she said no one wants to get up off their fucking ass to go to work anymore, least of all me. I got this dog in 2020. He's a little Chihuahua mix. He's super cute. I miss him so much. He's with a friend right now. But I thought, oh my god, I'm going to turn this dog into an Instagram influencer. Like, how hard could that be? But then he gained a bunch of weight in quarantine. It turns out it just made people depressed. So I think at this point I have to marry someone who's in a coma. Is there a dating app for that one? Like, you're on OkCupid, I'm on OK Comatose, and I'm swiping right on anyone with a do not resuscitate order. You know, here's the thing, like even with my single income, I did get myself a few years back, I purchased myself a one bed, one bath condo. Go me. It's cozy, it's enough space for me and my obese dog. But you know what, like, here's the thing, when it comes to like life's grandest struggles, I've never done anything like fighting in the army, I have never been to prison yet. But I will tell you, last week I sat through a 3.5-hour HOA meeting. That's just time I'm never getting back, guys. Like, this meeting had something for everyone. It had embezzlement accusations. It had karaoke machine. If it wasn't taking place on Zoom, I'm pretty sure there was going to be a murder. Like, that's how intense it got. When it started to get spicy in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, so this will be cute. I'll watch the neighbors argue for an hour and then finish it off with the latest Real Housewives, like the perfect appetizer entree. 3.5 hours later, I am looking like Winona Ryder at the end of Heathers, just smoking a cigarette. It was rough, but we made it through, and nothing was accomplished, so it was another successful HOA meeting. Maybe one of our more productive ones, to be quite honest. But yeah, so I've been doing comedy for a couple of years now, and it does mean, and I gotta say, getting into comedy in your late 30s means that you're hanging out with far more 21-year-olds than you expected to at this age. But here's the thing, don't get it wrong. I absolutely adore Gen Z. Because Gen Z has no idea what a 40-year-old woman is supposed to look like. They're always shocked when they hear how old I am, and they give me crazy low guesses. Like, I have gotten this year like 29, okay, 25, thanks. And this is true, one of them a few months back guessed 22. And I just like to bring that one up as often as I can, to as many people as I can. Please tell me that's what happened. No, I love Gen Z. I find them to be fascinating. Like, I came across some studies, like I read this study a few years back that only 30% of Gen Z high schoolers were sexually active, compared to 30 years ago when over half of teens were sexually active. And then I saw this other study that said Gen Z are getting their driver's licenses at much lower rates than teens and young adults did 20 or 30 years ago. So do you all know what this means? It means that Gen Z are literally a bunch of virgins who can't drive. And yet, they have the audacity to make fun of millennials because what? We wear ankle socks and use emojis? Like, at least we fuck. I was diagnosed with ADHD a few years back in my mid-30s. And getting treatment for it after a lifetime of that was absolutely life-changing. I just can't help but think that had I gotten the diagnosis sooner, I could have saved an equally life-changing amount of money not getting a degree in library science. No, you mean to tell me I went into 6 figures of debt to learn how to organize shit when I could have been microdosing meth the whole time? because women with ADHD, we often don't get diagnosed until later in life, if at all. So PSA, if you too are a former gifted student who struggles with minor chores and had like a suspiciously high tolerance for cocaine right out of the gate, you might want to get yourselves evaluated. I will leave you with this tidbit though, because I did read recently that ADHD is considered a spectrum disorder. Like I'm on the spectrum. And it really makes so much sense because, y'all, I've always had a weird fascination with trains. And I know you're like, yeah, a lot of people like locomotives, public transit. And these are all things I am weirdly enthusiastic about as for a woman my age. But I do love getting railed by dozens of dudes in a row, too. All right, maybe one day I'll write a clean joke, but today's not that day. You've been fabulous. I've been Gayle. Please give it up for your host, everyone.